So now we're ready to install our mounting brackets. The first thing we need to make sure is that our D-rings are perpendicular with the back of our trucks. This is going to ensure proper placement for our mounting brackets. Your D-rings may be bent out of shape, so what I like to do is take an adjustable wrench, grab it near the top, and square it off. Like I said, just making sure it's perpendicular with the back of our truck here. So we're gonna start by grabbing our Phillips screwdriver and our bracket base. We're gonna be loosening up 3 screws here. This one up top, middle, and bottom. And there's access holes here in our bracket base for you to stick your screwdriver through in order to get to these adjustment screws right here. And I'm loosening all 3 of those so that way until we have this plate nice and loose. Okay, we'll come back to that plate in a bit. Now we're gonna join the bracket clamp and the bracket base together. To do that, we'll need 3 sets of bolts, washers and nuts, as well as our Allen key and a 13mm socket. So we'll join our bracket base and bracket clamp together now. Comes just through this space, your bracket clamp on the outside. We'll take one of our bolts coming through the bottom here. We'll top it off with a washer and a nut. And we'll repeat that process for our next 2 holes here. So now that these 3 bolts are hand tightened, we're gonna come back with our tools and we're gonna snug these 3 up. Not too tight yet, we still have to use our placement holder here to get everything aligned. So now that we've snugged up our 3 bolts here, not too tight, we still need this movement here, so that way we can line up our placement holes on our bracket clamp and our bracket base. So right there, you can see that they're aligned. We'll stick our Phillips screwdriver through as a placeholder, and up top, we need to make sure that the 2 cutouts also align. Once everything's lined up, now we can come back with our tools and tighten all these down for good. Now that we've aligned our bracket clamp and bracket base and tightened everything up with these 3 bolts, we're gonna come to the top 2 and bottom 2 bolts on our bracket clamp and loosen these up some. Just enough so that we have some play for adjustments. Once our bracket clamps are loosened like so, we can bring this over to the truck. Now that we have it on our truck, we want to pull it back tight against our D-ring and push that plate we adjusted, rather loosened up earlier, flush against this piece of our truck here. Once that's flush and this is pressed against our D-ring, we've got a rectangular washer here and our long bolt. We want our hole on the rectangular washer facing the outside of our truck. Run our bolt through it into the hole of our bracket base. And then through this back hole, through our D-ring. And then we grab our round washer. And we get that round washer just hand tightened here. And with the fixed tool provided, we're gonna come in now and tighten this all up. While you're tightening up this round washer, you just want to ensure this back end of it here is flush with the outside of your truck. Now that we have our round washer tightened up by tool, we're going to tighten up this bolt just above it. But before we do, we want to make sure that that plate inside is still nice and loose. And once we've ensured that, we can come to this bolt and tighten it all the way up. As I tighten this bolt, it moves this plate forward into its correct position. There we go, nice and snug. As we tighten things up on these brackets, we want to ensure not to over tighten anything and probably avoid using any power tools just to make sure we don't do that. Now that our bolt's tightened here, we're gonna tighten this nut and then use our provided wrench to get that snug down. Perfect. Now that our bolt on the back here is tightened all the way down, the lock nut as well, we can go inside and tighten up those 3 screws on that inner plate. So as you can see, our D-ring bolt is sturdy, our rear bolt is sturdy, and these 3 plate screws are also nice and in place. So as you can see, our clamps up top and bottom are both still loose. So just like everything else, we're gonna get everything nice and pinched down and tighten it up with our tools for good. Just to reiterate, don't over tighten these bolts. Get them tight and then maybe just another quarter turn and that should be good.